I messed up. I blew it. So, as general manager of a large um, enterprise, I had a discourse, had some discussion with one of our prime assets, valued employee. Wanted to show her the next steps, the way forward in what I expected to be, continuation of an excellent career. Left the meeting feeling great, well done. The morning of the next day, on my desk was a resignation. Feedback, feedback. It's not as easy as we think. I'm Trevor E.S. Smith. I'm with the Success with People Academy. And today, in this approximately 30-minute live cast, we'll be looking at discerning feedback. And if you look at how it is spelled out, set up, you could see the DISC. Yes, so it's built on the DISC theory from Jung. And so what I want to look at is how to tailor your feedback to different behavioral styles. These live casts, by the way, we have been available to you the YouTube, Extended Illusions YouTube channel. But I'm going to share with you another opportunity to have access to these live casts. So let's get going. So what is our agenda? I want to place some attention, put this thing in context. Why are we going through this discussion? What is the relevance? We want to look at this shifting sands of feedback. We want to look at this whole concept of discerning feedback. Probably never ever heard of this concept, but we want to deal with it today. And then, of course, we will look at giving feedback to different behavioral styles. Always in these short live casts, we provide solutions. We look at challenges and we provide answers. And here in this, how to give feedback to different behavioral styles, you will get insights that could make a difference to how you lead, how you guide, and how you relate within your team or in your home or at the playground. And as usual, we like to challenge you to look at life through different lenses. And just want to share a little bit about our why, who we are, what it is, why we do what we do. All right, so the context, as I indicated in my critical example, where I shared genuinely thought this person was high value to the organization. And yet, the very next day, the individual said to me, well, I thought I was further along. I didn't know that this was where I was in the process. And she left and actually changed career, went and studied and did something completely different. So feedback is a delicate issue. It's not easy, no matter how genuine and well-meaning your intentions are, you could actually run into problems. So why? One of the reasons why this is so is because we tend to equate the word feedback with criticism. And when we think of criticism, it seems as if you're saying to me, I'm not good enough. If I were good enough, maybe not even perfect, but if I were good enough, I wouldn't have this issue that you're speaking about. And who? And nobody wants to be not good enough. And so when you give me what I hear as criticism, I am not so comfortable. And sometimes my response makes you feel uncomfortable because you don't want to hurt, you don't want to have conflict, you don't want to have issues. That's it. And so sometimes then we tend to step back. We tend to be apprehensive because we do not want to have this uncomfortable feeling. And so many of us at times hold back from giving the required and necessary feedback. Here's another issue though. It is not just the audiences, the individual who is receiving the feedback, who might have a challenge because they are mistaking feedback with criticism. Sometimes if we are honest with ourselves, the way that we give the feedback, the way that we're offering that feedback, that is what is causing it not to land well. This is an issue that requires development, requires focus, requires coaching and training. It's not so easy. So sometimes we actually deliver well-meaning feedback, but the way and the timing, all of those things cause it not to land well. And so that is the issue that we will discuss in this short. We try to be out of here within 30 minutes or so, just give and take a few minutes. Right? So learning how to tailor feedback to different receiving styles. That's it. It's not a one size fits all. This is a skill that should be honed and treasured because it will make a huge difference to your effectiveness as a leader, and it will make a huge difference to your interpersonal relationships. You need to give feedback to your significant other. You need to give feedback to your children, to your parents, to your friends. How you do that makes a huge difference to how you navigate through life. So let's talk about the shifting sands of feedback, because a study in the Harvard Business Review found that employees who receive regular feedback from their managers are more engaged and have higher levels of job satisfaction. So feedback, far from causing conflict and causing people to step away, actually motivates them, gives them a higher level of job satisfaction. Employee engagement and the lack thereof is one of the issues that people have been grappling with for years. All the Deloitte studies indicate lower levels of engagement. Well, maybe people are not receiving regular feedback. Also, the study also found that employees who receive more positive feedback are more likely to stay with the organization. So that's what we need to look at. Far from shying away from feedback, we need to give more, give it in a better way. And that's why we are engaged here today. Giving feedback, as it says here in bold letters, is important. It's an important leadership competence. And it's a responsibility. It's a responsibility. So again, now what's happening is that the value, people are now recognizing it. Organizations are now recognizing that the value of this early and consistent feedback, because many organizations now are moving towards ongoing feedback as against just the annual performance reviews. That way, they are seeing that we can actually improve employee performance. We can promote growth. And as we said before, it will also help to engage employees and provide them with a greater level of satisfaction in the job. The issue now of remote work even adds another dimension to the problem. And so I'm just suggesting that supervisors, leaders, anybody, I'd say, move it out of the workplace. And I'm saying, at a personal level, we need to develop the capacity, the competence to skillfully deliver nuanced feedback to others. Here we go. So here's this concept then of discerning feedback. I like when I have the opportunity to spell it with the emphasis on the DISC, because it is based on Jungian DISC theory. And for me, I'm in my third decade of in-depth work with DISC theory, written courses, all sorts of different things. And for me, at its core, contrary to what some people think, that this is a way of classifying people, what Jung really was at was the classifying of approaches or philosophy or mindset. Yes, or worldview. That's what it is, not people, but this way of coping with life. And I like to put it that we have four toolkits, 4 bags of tools, and within each bag are several behavioral actions that we can take. And so we have these 4 bags of tools to navigate through life. And we might be familiar with them. The 4 classifications are dominance, which we call the D style, inducement, which is what Jung used. Nowadays, we call it influence, which is the I style, steadiness, the S style, and conscientiousness, the C style. And when we apply this theory, this framework to giving feedback, what it is suggesting to us is that we should appreciate at a much deeper level than is normal that individuals have preferences, what we call behavioral styles. And those preferences lead us to markedly different ways in which we send and receive information. That is the core of communication challenges in many instances. I can't bypass reading it as it is there, as I put it down before. In a very real sense, we speak different language. We speak different language behaviorally. So you could be shouting louder to me, in your Greek, and I'm saying, I'm not getting it. So let's move forward. All right. So this graphic on the right, I used it last week when we were looking at listening, because it's part of the keys to communication, but not to worry about it. Let me cut to the chase with respect to giving feedback to individuals who have a preference for dominance as a behavioral style, these style individuals. These individuals are direct, assertive. They want to win. They want to make sure that things happen now. And so, bottom line, talk to me in bullet points. Let's get it over. Let's move. I want to know where you want me to go, and I go there. Or I'm going to push back. Here's the real challenge with giving feedback to these style users, because the D-style user is willing and ready. I would emphasize the ready to push back, because let me tell you why. The D-style user wants to win, right? They want to be successful. They want to achieve. And so if you are telling me that I am not delivering, I am not achieving, I am not meeting what is required of me, I'm going to defend it. I'm going to defend it. I'm going to say, no, prove to me. And so there is a readiness. It's like a trigger to say, well, stop. What are you saying? You're saying I'm not good enough? No, man. Let's talk a little bit more about that. And so that propensity to challenge tends to put off people. I can't but approach Trevor, because all I'm going to get is a lot of excuses. We are going to call it. We're going to get a lot of pushback. And I can't take conflict right now. Let me just leave it alone. That's a problem, because your responsibility is to give the feedback. And so that's a dynamic that is taking place in organizations right now, is that some people are shying away from giving required, necessary, helpful feedback to these style users for fear of, man, can't take that again. And in any case, they don't listen. That's some of the pushback that or the excuses that we give for not giving the feedback. Or they won't listen. And, it's always going to push back. And, if I give the feedback today and I get that pushback, I'm going to have to discipline Trevor. Those are some of the considerations that go into it. And I'm saying, hey, stop. It is necessary. It is necessary, and you have to do it in order to achieve success and to help Trevor. Here's a little secret. Don't be put off by the mannerisms. Don't bother punch them because of who you're talking to, and why they're going to get animated because they want to defend. Here's something that I have been guiding our workshops over the decades, is that the more respect the D-style user has for you, is the more they're going to try to defend themselves. Is the more what you would call pushback. They're just trying to defend themselves because they don't want you, who they respect, to think that they are inadequate, that they're not performing up to scratch. So, so we understand that if as a matter of fact, I want to give you a secret. If when you give the feedback, you're saying, okay, fine, thanks for the feedback, okay, fine. You should be concerned. You should be concerned because it has either that they think it's foolishness that you're saying, or two, it doesn't matter what you think of them. So be concerned. Be concerned if you get no pushback. If it just lands on it, oh, it's fine. Thank you very much. Happy to receive it. That does sound like the normal person who wants to win, the normal person who wants to succeed, the normal person who wants you to hold them in high regard. That don't sound like that to me. So get to the point, and actually the key though is to focus on the behavioral change that you desire. This is the outcome. This is what I want as a result of our dialogue. Critical. That you make it clear. This is what. You can go a step further, if you will, to deal with the consequences, implications. This happens. This happens. This doesn't happen. This happens. So to be clear, that's how these styles think. They just think bottom line. I do this, these outcomes occur. I don't do this, these consequences come into. That's the style thinking. Just go ahead, butt heads if necessary. So an example again, sensitive one, extremely sensitive one. Some just say, hey, Trevor, there's an issue. You can address it by doing so and so. And my hand is around the shoulder, and no problem. Just move on. That's it. I can give the feedback. I don't hold any grudges. I don't hold any problems. I just go forward. All right, let's move on so that we try to get to where we want to go. So what about the I-style user? All right, so the I-style user is the warm, friendly. These are the guys that you really want on your team. And it's everybody buoyant and engaged all day long. Very, very people-oriented. Loves them. All right. So obviously then, in that context, you would prefer to give the feedback, like, sort of characters against a stick, and beat them over the head. Best results you can get is by saying, hey, you're a key player, right, in that team. As a matter of fact, that's basically what you're going to get from them when you're giving the exchange, when you play somebody's role or the real life things, is that they're going to say, hey, boss, you know that I'm a man. I've started out, boss. That's the feedback that you're going to get. The response you're going to get is more likely to be, okay, I hear you, boss. Thank you. I'm going to sort it out. But don't leave it there because it might not go much further than that. So one of the things that you want to do is to encourage, is to talk about how important, this idea of an image where you have the map and you say, this is where you are. If you don't function, the picture is changed. We can't function effectively unless you deliver. That's the discussion that you want to have with the I-style user. Yeah. So don't be too critical, etc. I remember one of our clients came and was talking about a huge challenge that she was having with somebody that she actually brought into the job. And the person was not performing, and it's a friend, person, a colleague. And I said, hey, the punishment might not really work. What you need to do is to have the dialogue. Say, come here a little bit, let's sit down. I brought you here, right? And there's the relationship of all the people in this team. You would be the last that I would be expecting to be given issues, challenges. No, man, you have to have my back. I am relying on you. You need to be at the forefront of delivery. That's the kind of dialogue you want to have with the I-style. Let them know how important they are, how much you rely on them, how key they are to your success and to the overall success. And that would resonate because they want to please. They want to please. S-style. Oh my gosh. All right. So the S-style, milk of humankind is so supportive. These are people that actually stand in your shoes in terms of empathy. They understand you, they care, they are loyal to the team. This individual wants the team to succeed. They want themselves to succeed. So when we hear that there's feedback, oh, I mean, I'm not performing, I'm not delivering. Remember, I'm not like the D style and the I style who have thicker skin. I am going to ruminate. This is going to be a part of me for a long time. Bear that in mind. And that is why I'm jumping down to the last sentence there. Take care to smooth over ruffled feathers. In other words, that feedback that you have given, no matter how clever you are, and we talk about the sandwich, say something nice, boom, push what it is that you want to say in the middle, say something nice. Yeah, tell you, in my experience working with style individuals and in workshops, consistently the feedback is, are you thinking I'm an idiot? Why you never just, give me straight? Don't go around. So maybe all of the things that you said before, all the bread was just not meaning. You just really was trying to please me. So I've thrown away the bread and I'm going to walk with that meat of the issue that you have with me. That's a style. And so if you're not careful, you could actually discourage individuals who are working hard, who are committed, who want to get it done. You have to be careful. And I tell you, believe me, I'm not, I will swear to you that no matter how clever, no matter all the training that you're going in terms of delivering it, if you do not go afterwards to massage and to say that you're a worthy member of my team, and in practical terms, to show that you trust the individual, that you value that. If you do not do that, you're going to have persons who are going to be somewhat demotivated. So don't think that you are a lyricist and you can, convince everybody, you can charm. Please make sure that you go back afterwards and to reassure the person that they value their contribution. All right. So that's the S style. This one is not easy. This one is not easy. I promise you. All right. Okay. C style. When you think about giving feedback to a C style user, conscientiousness, right? So it's more task oriented and reserved. For me, the simple answer is you're going to the Supreme Court. You are going to the Supreme Court and you have to convince these justices of the worthiness of your case. That's it. Prepare just the same way. Prepare, because the C style user also wants to be successful. The C style user, we've used the anecdote in our workshop to say that the C style user is known to proofread material that has come through the photocopier. So you print, you check everything, put it through the photocopier. Now you have to double check it to see if there are issues. All right, okay. So what I'm saying is that it's a clear case of evidence-based. These are detailed, specific, and what you want to do then is to identify specific deviations from either objectives or the protocols, whatever the issue that you have. It should be related to what it is that it should be the standard or to the norm, and you need to provide the evidence. Give me the evidence. What is the basis on which you are giving me this feedback? Court case. Think about a court case. So try to avoid being vague and general and give specific feedback to me. Give me specific instances in which it happened or the areas that I need to work on. And just like with the D style, it might be useful to talk about consequences, outcomes, benefits, implications of having this happen. Can't emphasize it anymore, but be sure that it is backed by evidence. Make sure that your argument holds water. So So far, what have we done? We have looked at the importance of early constructive feedback as delivered in an appropriate manner. We have looked at how to give feedback to each of the styles, and we want to encourage you, I would start to encourage you to look at feedback, giving feedback as a mission critical competence. Right. This is our different lenses. We'll take a minute or so to just invite you to have another perspective, another look at life. And we are saying to you, usually we just ask, 2, 3, 4, or 5 questions. What if giving feedback did not have to be so sensitive? What if you didn't have to feel so uncomfortable when you're about to give feedback, especially sensitive feedback, and sensitive feedback to people that matter? That's a challenge. What if we could get to a place where was less challenging? What if we could engage in feedback? So when you have to give feedback, you could feel assured. Yeah, I've got this. Yeah. Because I have a framework, I have an understanding of how to deal with it, how to communicate with different behavioral styles. And so I know that at least in terms of the language issue, what I'm proposing will land as I intended it. It might not be accepted, but at least there shouldn't be distractions as to how I behave, what was my body language, what was my tone, what were some of the words that I use. All of that is moved out because I'm now presenting in a way that I know this person wants to receive information. Whether they accept it or not, that's a different matter, because they might disagree as to the veracity as to what it is that I'm seeing or observing. But at least it shouldn't be because I didn't like the tone or I didn't choose the right words. And suppose then you invested time in honing your skill such that you can remove those distractions. That's my invitation. That's my encouragement from this life class, is that you focus attention then on developing the capacity to deliver, offer feedback without the distractions. All right. So just want to share something with you that over many decades, we are fond of presenting information. For example, in my LinkedIn profile, Trevor E.S. Smith, you will see hundreds, literally. I'm not talking posts, I'm talking articles. I also wrote articles for a national newspaper in the Gleaner. If you look at the Gleaner, Trevor E.S. Smith, Gleaner, Jamaica, you see tons of articles. I was shocked one day where a director of a listed company on the stock exchange said to me, I actually cut out, I have a scrapbook, I cut out your articles and paste them, in a scrapbook. And I'm saying, okay, wonderful. So, so we have been putting information out there without any obligations on the part of our audience to, buy. So it's not a heavy sale or whatever. I'm suggesting to you also that currently, our primary sources of providing information will be these live casts, which we do every week on a Friday, on LinkedIn and on Facebook as well. And we make the recordings available. If you will register, you get the recordings right afterwards, or we send them to people on our email list on Wednesdays. Right? So that's one. We have also set up this Leadership DNA Club. If you go to LinkedIn and type in Leadership DNA Club, you will see the group. We wanted a group that wasn't full of just advertising. So this was content. So you have to apply for entry, and we actually screen heavily. So all the people who are doing digital marketing, we just don't accept them because we just don't want it to be a flooded thing. We want good content. And so that's there, inviting you to do that as well. So it's Leadership DNA Club, and it's on LinkedIn. And of course, on Thursdays, we post some information-filled newsletter on LinkedIn. And of course, that goes out also to the mailing list of people there. I'm inviting you, suggesting to you that if you wish, you could actually just have all of this come to your mailbox. Notice it would be potentially Wednesday, where you get the recording and the notification as what's coming up on Friday. And on Thursday, you get the newsletter. We're not dumping stuff on you. All right. So just send us an email to info@successwithpeople.org so that you don't have to miss anything, and you can actually just look at it. If we ever, and we won't abuse anything, you just unsubscribe. So who are we and why? We are the InfoServe Group, and a key component of that is our Success with People Academy. And basically, we are engaged with human capacity development. That's why we do all of this. We want to help individuals, organizations, and their companies, their teams, to function more effectively. And we rely heavily on technology. We have technology enablers that help people to recruit better, to monitor performance, deal with compliance, deliver learning. So that's basically what we are engaged in. Because of our quest to develop capacity, we also are engaged clearly with working with leadership and those things. And of course, people to hire us so that they have more functional individuals who are a better fit for their organizations. So that's who we are. That's why we do all of this. Please, love to get your feedback. And as I said, for convenience, we can put things in the mailbox. Just send us an email, info@successwithpeople.org. And thank you for your time.